Hey YouTube, what's going on? Son of Sanguinius here, and first things first, I wanted to give you guys an apology. I have just been sort of swamped with work at my new job, and I haven't forgotten about you guys. And GW has just been on this hype train. They've just kept on releasing stuff, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to catch back up because I've been gone for about a week. But hopefully we'll get there slowly but surely. So in this video, we're just going to be talking about the morale phase, We're going to be talking about morale in 8th edition. So we're going to be taking a look at the article that was posted the 5th of March. So here we go. We're just going to dive right into it. So it says here, in the 41st millennium, morale plays a vital role. Battles can be won and lost by the brave actions of a few stubborn defenders, or defeat caused by the panicked flight of key elements of an enemy force. Morale has always been a part of Warhammer 40,000. In past editions, though, it did often seem that in a lot of games it could be largely ignored. So many units were immune to its various effects. Where it did apply, though, you had to take a lot of tests. It was conceivable that a unit might have to take over half a dozen leadership tests in a turn, which had the effect of bogging down the game. The new morale phase is simple. It only happens once per player turn. At the end of all your other phases, it will apply to almost every unit and represents warriors fleeing from the battlefield, dying from the psychic feedback shockwaves of their allies, or retreating with injured or fallen brethren. There will be very few units indeed that will not feel its effects. So just, taking a break here, I think that this change was largely for two reasons. One, no one really liked having to take a billion morale or leadership checks in the game previously, and it did kind of slow the game down. And the other thing too is just concerning things like "and they shall know no fear" and various other fearless or semi-fearless units that could largely just ignore morale altogether. And while I feel like Space Marines and Chaos should still have something to mitigate the damage, or perhaps very few specific units could essentially be immune to this new sort of morale check, I feel as though this is overall a good change. Obviously, going from multiples of the same type of role to just one role is very nice for us. And hopefully, we can still see things like Death Company or Sanguinary Guard, speaking from a Blood Angel's perspective, that were previously fearless, still maintain a fearless or semi-fearless status in the next edition. So, carrying on, it says the mechanics are simple. Any units that suffered casualties in a turn must take a morale test at the end of it. You just roll a d6, add the number of models from that unit that have been slain, and if the number is bigger than the unit's leadership, the unit loses the difference in additional models. So just a couple things to really talk about there. So Space Marines, for example, have a leadership of 7. Which means that if you take 2 casualties, so 2 models are removed from your 10-man squad, let's say you roll a 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, so you would then lose an additional Marine in that morale check. So just, something to keep in mind there. It is something that can be somewhat detrimental as our leadership is slightly lower, but I feel as though the lower leadership will be applied broad spectrum to all of the armies. And the one thing that we keep on seeing as information about this new edition rolls out is that things are going to die, which we will talk about a little bit more in some future videos. So carrying on, that's it. No units falling back, no regroup tests, all that is gone. You can see straight away that this will be pretty brutal and means the units will suffer high casualties in a turn, stand to lose a lot more to come the morale phase if they roll poorly. Conversely, single model units, like many vehicles, won't have to test, as they are units of 1. There are no other models in their squad to lose. There are a few things that can help you out in the phase. A Chaos Dark Apostle, for example, allows all nearby units from the same legion to use his leadership, or you can use some units to make your opponent's test more difficult. The Hemlock Wraith Fighter, as an example, decreases the leadership of units by 1 if they are within 12, which equates to 1 additional loss model on every failed test. So that's morale. We've been talking through all the phases, blah, 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 blah. It is pretty interesting. Just like kind of on a side note, they mention a Dark Apostle from the same Legion. This kind of indicates to me that they're going to try and keep the various flavors of the Traitor Legions that were put out in the Traitor Legion supplement in 7th, and they're probably going to find a way to port that over so that at least some things from Traitor Legions, if not all of them, can find a new way into the base Chaos Space Marine. I guess data sheets or codexes or whatever it may be. So anyway, guys, this one I wanted it to be a quick video because we got plenty of stuff to go through here. So that's morale. Overall, I can say I like the changes. I like the fact that it's a little less rolling, and it will be interesting to see it go into effect on the table, as if everything has been somewhat lowered in leadership. That means that this will definitely prove to be a pivotal point in the game, I would say. But we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.